isiah-factor-uncensored. Elon Musk says his high-tech startup Neuralink has implanted the first brain chip inside a human. The FDA gave the company clearance last year to conduct its first human trials. Musk says the patient is recovering well and that the device is already gathering information from the person's brain. But could the company have overlooked some serious issues? My next guest explains. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored is Dr. Danish Ali from Archpoint Pain Institute. Dr. Ali, I'll tell you, when Elon Musk first announced this a few years ago, I was excited. But now I'm kind of cautious, concerned about it when hearing reports that 1,500 animals died while trying to test this Neuralink and this new product he calls telepathy. First of all, exactly what is it and who will get to benefit from this?
Yeah, Isaiah, I agree with you. You know, when we first heard about this last year, we were all kind of excited about it, wanted to see, because what it's meant for and what it's coming out for and FDA approved for trials and research on is actual folks who are quadriplegic, meaning they cannot move their arms and legs after whatever accident, whether it be a spinal cord injury, a stroke, motor vehicle accident, folks that are essentially bedbound and cannot move their arms. It's for those folks that this clinical trials were supposed to be done for, right? And to be begun for in terms of placing this in humans. What we've seen is that so many animals have died from this, and there's multiple reasons why that's happened from what Neuralink is putting out there. However, regardless, over 1,500 animals have been killed in this study so far. Yes, they've studied thousands of animals. However, there has been a high number of death and mortality associated with it, number one. Number two, that yes, the FDA has approved this in clinical trials in humans, and they have recently implanted one in a human that they're testing right now as well. So this is going to be a long, drawn-out process because, yes, the idea sounds cool. You know, the idea that somebody who has a horrible disease or an incident or a stroke or spinal cord injury can potentially move their limbs, their extremities, by thought, by, you know, not initiating any motor neurons, but mainly because of thought process, they can move their arms or legs. That sounds awesome, especially from somebody who has research in folks who've had strokes and spinal cord injuries. That was what my training was as well. And so it sounds really cool, but I do have lots of concerns and lots of trials need to be done before we see this come out for folks that are spinal cord injuries, strokes, motor vehicle accidents, brain death, those sorts of things.
We keep hearing the word rushed, trials rushed. Do you think this is a rush to get to the market, which could result in some incidents or where people are harmed by trying to get it to the market before any competition out there? And I'm not sure if there is even any competition for Elon Musk on this, but are you concerned about hearing the word rush trials so often?
Yeah, Isaiah, I think that's always an alarming and concerning thing. You know, we know that Elon does things like these. You know, he wants to be ahead of the market, ahead of the game, ahead of all of these things. And so, you know, yes, it's concerning, but will the FDA approve it or will they feel rushed? I don't think so. I think they have a very strenuous process by which they go by. And so though this private company, Neuralink, may feel rushed because its owner is rushing them, I don't think that the FDA, the markets, et cetera, will be feeling rushed or feeling the pressure from Elon or anybody else for that matter.
But if this is successful, telepathy, the Neuralink, if it is successful, it would be game-changing.
For folks, yeah, I 100% agree with you, Isaiah. For folks who have such a horrible thing that may have happened to them, whether it's a horrible stroke, an accident, or an injury. I had a young gentleman who had a gunshot wound to his neck, and that injured the spinal cord. And he was otherwise very healthy, but could not move his arms or legs, and now is bedbound. And so I think that concept sounds so amazing to folks, and it really is. We just got to make sure we do all the right things, and we got to make sure we figure out why all these animals died. Because I read research where it said, the size of the device was an issue. Then I read the length of it where it was attached. And so again, we got to figure out, we got to do all these testing, and we got to make sure that this gets implanted in the right person once it is released as well.
All right, Dr. Danish Ali, Arch Point Pain Institute, thank you for your time.